Hi, I'm Garth Rowe, and welcome to Why We Say Words, Phrases, and Idioms. Okay is the most used combo of letters to mean an affirmative on the planet. Everyone gets okay. It's beautiful, it's simple, it's easy. You can't mess it up. How did it come to be so successful? Three big reasons for this: a presidential campaign, the build-out of North American railroads, and advertising and graphic arts and their rise. So how did this all start? So go back to 1830s, late 1830s in the Boston area. It is so cool, so hip, you're so clever if you can play with words and misspell them and mispronounce them. Just shows how smart you are that you can do it all. The poor immigrants coming in, they didn't realize that they were mispronouncing things. So it was the intellectuals going, aren't we so clever? Some of the words they like to play with, combinations were all correct. Now it should be AC, all correct, shouldn't it? But they would play with it and they would go oral, O, and correct with a K. That's where okay comes from. They did that with a lot of words, but okay came through because just a few years after that, in 1840, you had the big election campaign in the States. It was Martin Van Buren trying to get re-elected. His name, a Dutch name, kind of long, heavy Dutch name, not very snappy, his advisors said. He comes from this town called Kinderhook. It's 100 miles north of New York City, an old Dutch colony. His nickname is Old Kinderhook, the old guy from Kinderhook. Now you combine that, Old Kinderhook, with okay, and you get okay is okay. Kind of snappy, works very well. Because it's a presidential campaign, it goes across the continent. Everybody gets a chance to hear this. So it becomes well known in the modern vocabulary. A couple of years just after that, a second element kicks in. It's the movement to push more railroads all the way across the continent. So if you're going to send trains across the continent, you really need to know what's at the end of the track. So if a bridge falls down, you need to tell folks, don't send the train. So they started to use the modern electric telegraph, sending messages in Morse code. Now, the easiest way to make sure that people got the message, like don't send the train, was that they had to reply with, okay. All correct, got your message. So okay was like the fastest thing you could type as an affirmative. So that's how that became very popular. All these towns that were springing up along these new railroad routes, they all needed people and businesses to populate them out, and in comes advertising and graphic arts. Now, for a graphic artist, when you get a chance to see like an O, especially a K, it's fantastic for them. It's like crack cocaine for a graphic artist. The smooth, round, beautiful shape of the O with the slash of that K. They love using this. So you got OK plumbers, OK printers, OK gardeners. Everybody's springing up. Tombstone, Arizona, 1881, you know, the gunfight at the OK Corral. Doc Holliday, Wyatt Earp, the boys in there, biggest gunfight in U.S. cowboy history. It's ingrained in the population now, so much so that even in the moon landing, quite a few years later, the moon landing, for heaven's sake, OK is the first response by a human on the moon. The lunar module's coming in to land. Neil Armstrong's on the controls. It's touched down. He says to Buzz, Buzz, shut down those engines. Buzz says, okay. I'd be okay if you enjoyed today and you hit the subscribe button down below. Would you be okay with that?